Live. We should be live. All right, we are live on YouTube. Can you folks hear me clearly and see me clearly? Oh, it's a beautiful day out here today. I need to do my laundry. That's why I'm wearing my jacket right now, because I don't have anything else that is washed. I've been so far behind on some other things that I had to wear my jacket today. And no, it is a little bit warm, but there is a breeze, so I'm not like overheating. But you always have to take pride in looking good for the camera. And, you know, when you get backed up on other things that I'll share with you folks here today, um, you don't have any other clothes to wear. So I'm going to be doing laundry tonight. Let's see. The Queen is here. You're good. Hello, Lewis. Yeah, welcome, Lewis, and welcome, Queen Helen Casey, to the show. We're just going to wait a few more minutes before we get started. I have some incredible updates for you folks today. But again, you know, I'm going to just come out and own the fact that it's 80 degrees and I'm wearing my jacket because I have nothing else to wear. That's my fault. You know, I've been focusing on some other things that have come up and prioritized that over doing my laundry. So I am open and willing and ready to take crap from trolls and haters saying that, oh, this guy is so frail that he has to wear a jacket in 80-degree weather. No. I'm coming clean and saying exactly what I know you folks are going to say. And the funny thing is this, like, I don't watch you guys anymore, but I know you guys still watch me. I know you guys still talk about me. You know how I know? People tell me about it. Because I don't care to watch you folks. It's one pathetic poop show, let's just put it that way so we don't get demonetized, that obviously needs me to bring life back to those people. And I'm not going to do that. I've moved on. It's funny to me, before we get started here, it's funny to me how I don't talk about these people anymore, but somehow every show they do, and people make me aware of this. Again, I'm not tuning in. I'm not watching any of this. But it's funny how they mention me every show. And then I'm told, like, these people, they have like 20 or 25 people in the box, right? Yeah, when you're not talking about drama or coming at me or stirring up the drama pot, that's all you're going to get. That's your real audience, right? Just like I don't talk about drama, and this is my real audience. I get about, 15, 20, 25 people in the box, right? Like, let's see, right now, we've got 10 in the box, right? Well, that's my real audience. Plus, I've been a little inconsistent lately because I've had some technical difficulties that I'll be sharing with you folks today. And I have figured out what the issue is, and the solution is already in progress. It will be completed by tomorrow. I just love how in today's day and age, you can... somebody's coming on this side, so I'm going to just go to the other side. I just love how you can order something from a New York electronics superstore and it gets here in 1 to 2 days with cheap or free shipping. I love the way how the world works on that aspect, at least, right? Other aspects such as dating and dealing with people's attitudes and insecurities and all that, that's a different story. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to help everyone learn how to better navigate this modern world we all live in, right? But yeah, I'll get to all that in just a second here. I'm just waiting for a few more people to get the notification so they can catch this live. Yeah, baseball season's back. So the little leaguers are already here. You know, I've learned something about YouTube that I always knew in real life. I never knew how important, or more important nowadays in this digital world we live in, how important it is for YouTube as well. You just have to be yourself and just own things. If you do something that you feel other people are going to respond to you in a negative way, just own it, right? And if they still talk about you, then that makes them more pathetic because it shows that they have no other content besides you. Even if they do have other content, right, that would get them more views, why would they waste their time talking about me or criticizing me if it wasn't of some value to them, right? Or if they didn't feel they could get something out of it, right? And it's funny to me, I need to do a show on this at some point, probably from the studio, when I get my new setup, which I'll share with you folks here in a little bit. Even my moderators behind the scenes that are good people, you know, we talk privately through our private Coach Eli moderator chat on Hangouts. They all talk about the trolls all the time. It's like they're all saying, you know, why do people do this? Why are people behaving this way? Why can't we all just get along, right? And if we don't like each other's content, why not just ignore each other? Because, and this is what I've learned being on this platform for 4 years, because for some people, for many people, they feel that that's all they have, even though that's not true. That's what they feel. They feel that their content is drama. The truth of the matter is this, is most, if not all, these people that feel they can't get views or traction or attention unless they talk about drama, the truth of the matter is they do have other content. The problem is they don't want to work hard to grow an audience that wants to view that content. They know once they stop talking about drama, their numbers will go from 70 or 80 people in a live stream chat in the box to 15 to 20 to 25, right? Like, look at me. Like right now, I've only got, well, I've actually got 18, 19 people now. Okay, so it's about 20 people, right? And it's the same thing with the people that used to come at me, right? When they're not talking about drama, they're getting 20, 25 people. That's our audience, right? That's our audience until we rebuild that audience by focusing on our actual message, not feeding into drama, and slowly but surely growing that. And that takes time. It might take 6 months or a year before my numbers go from 20 in the box to 40 or 50 in the box consistently. But I have to be consistent, sticking to my message and not feeding into drama for that to happen. It takes time, right? For people to get to know you, like you, and trust you, right? And I've already started the process of that, right? And that's what everyone in the same situation needs to do. But some people just don't want to do it, or maybe they're not in the financial position to do it, so they have to keep feeding in the drama because that's what's paying the bills. Or at least that's what they think it's going to pay the bills. Maybe it is for the time being, but I keep saying, if I know one thing about drama, it's not sustainable long term. And for those of you that have been stirring up drama to make money and You have to get up every day and pretend to be somebody you're not to keep the drama alive, right? You're getting tired of doing that, right? There are many people out here on this platform, YouTube, that instigate fake drama because they know if they can instigate fake drama that appears real to their audience, they're going to have more people watching and they're going to actually have more people donating, right? But again, that's not sustainable long term. And even if it was sustainable long term, deep within, the person that has to keep instigating that drama is going to get tired, is going to start to just hate what they're doing. They're going to hate themselves. I'm seeing this happen right now, and I've seen it happen before, and it'll keep happening, right? So if you're in that situation where you're trying to transition away from drama to creating something sustainable and long term regarding your actual message, start to change now and cut every single person off that tries to be a leak back into drama, because I had that same issue for the last several years. And hey, the problem is this: sometimes you'll meet one or two or three or four good people that are a part of a drama group that are actually good people. You have to get rid of them too, even though they're good people, because not getting rid of them leaves a leak back into drama, right? Any way, shape, or form that you look at it, right? I had to get rid of everybody, good, bad, or indifferent, that was a leak back into the drama. So that's that. So I'll probably do a show on that at some point over the next week, probably from the studio, and I'll probably have a StreamYard open on that, and maybe bring my mods on. Riff Magos, maybe you can come on. Queen, maybe you can come on. BWYA Gaming, you can come on. And I also know BWYA Gaming that, we're going to talk very soon, next couple days, and we're going to get this collab going. I'm going to explain to you folks here today what this setback has been and what I've immediately done to rectify the issue. And it cost me a pretty penny, again, besides the laptop I just purchased. But it's a long-term investment. And I'm going to tell you folks, if you have to spend $4 or $5 grand, there's a right and a wrong way to do it, right? And if you're going to do it, you do it because what you're spending the $4 or $5 grand on is going to make your life easier for the next 3 to 5 years. You have to look at, equipment on YouTube, or purchasing equipment on YouTube as an investment for the future. You may be spending $4 or $5 grand in one shot, like I just have recently, and I'll share more about that in a little bit. But how long am I going to be able to use these products for, and what type of return are they going to bring me over the next 3 to 5 years, right? And when I purchase things, I purchase top of the line, even though it costs more. Why? Because they last longer. You get more value, you get more bang for your buck, and it's more sustainable long term. Redwood City Police just went on by. They saw me with my selfie stick and camera and all that, and they're like, "Oh, there's that dude again. He's vlogging. He's vlogging." No, I'm live on the air. Maybe it's a live vlog. Who knows? So anyway, oh yeah. Give me just a second here, folks. I just had one of the cords pop out. So we're going to get right to it here in a second. I'm going to update you folks with some great news regarding an issue I've been having since I got my new laptop, regarding live streams from the studio. and having horrible image quality. There's a reason for that, and I figured it out. I'm going to share that in just a little bit, but let me just make sure I haven't missed any messages here. Hey, BWYA Gaming, how you doing? 16 in the box, 6 thumbs up, thank you. Hello, Gaming, says Queen. Hi, Queen, says Gaming. Queen says, especially I read the long novels. Oh, you're talking about the private hangout chats behind the scenes. All right, I think we're ready to rock and roll. Let's get right to it. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live from Red Morton Park. It's actually a little breezy, so I'm not overheating even with this jacket on. Again, I'm wearing a jacket because I need to do laundry. I have nothing else to wear that looks decent, and I want to look good on camera too. So you trolls and haters, come at me. It's all good. It's not a big deal. We can just ignore it, turn the cheek, right? This is episode number 113. 113. And Queen, you've been a part of every single one of these. Going back to a couple years now, right, Queen? Queen, thank you for your unexpected loyalty. Same with you, BWYA Gaming. Appreciate it. And today I'm going to be discussing my live streaming issues, some new, hardware YouTube purchases that I just made online earlier this morning, and anything else that's on your mind. Depending on if I do 3 or 4 lives today, we'll see how it goes. And depending on how many people comment in the chat, how many questions we have, we'll keep this going for like maybe an hour and a half or so. So get your questions in, and I'll get to them as I go on the walk. So let's just get right to it. Let me just check out the chat real quick. Let's see. Critical Mass, how you doing, bro? Everyone's welcoming Critical Mass. Mike, hey, Critical Mass. I got your message. On lots of people walking right in my path today, so I'm going to have to take a detour. I got your message on Facebook, and I'll get back to you later tonight or tomorrow, bro. No worries. We're all busy. I know we're going to work on some stuff as soon as we can, but I appreciate your respect, bro. You're a good guy. I also appreciate the fact that you know how to handle the trolls, Critical Mass. And they tried to destroy you and I as well, but you didn't let that happen, bro, and I respect you for that, bro, completely, man. And Critical Mass, you're the vitamin and mineral expert of the group of people I associate with. And that's what we're going to focus on when we do our shows. It's very, very important. I will tell you, Critical Mass, since I started taking a vitamin and mineral regimen almost a month ago, I feel a lot better. I'm not saying I didn't feel good before. I am 47 years old and I take care of myself as best as possible, but I will tell you, I take my calcium, I've said this before, but I'll say it again, my calcium gummies with vitamin D3, which is important. I also take vitamin A, which is important for your immune system and your eyesight. And I take vitamin B complex, super B complex, which B vitamins are very important as well. The interesting thing is I've known about B complex for a while. And when I used to work in retail, one of my store managers back in my younger days used to tell me, hey, Eli, before you go drinking, pop a couple of B complex in your system. And even if you drink a lot, you won't wake up with as bad of a hangover or any hangover at all. B complex will keep you hydrated. But you'll also notice that your urine is going to be fluorescent yellow. And it is. B complex is a very interesting Very interesting pill to take, or supplement to take. It makes your piss fluorescent yellow. Fluorescent yellow. I can't even talk. Let me just check out the chat real quick. Supplements make a big difference, says Critical Mass. He says yes and thank you. No hurry. Oh, I know, no hurry, bro. But listen, we gotta get some things going, dude. The issue for me has been what I'm going to discuss here today, and that issue is going to end tomorrow because I'm going to tell you guys. I just spent some good money once again to upgrade a few other components. Oh boy. Again, it's an investment. But yeah, so I take vitamin A, vitamin B complex, super B complex, calcium with D3. I'm probably going to switch over to actual D3 without the calcium, because I know you recommended that before, Critical Mass Mike. And I also take a fiber supplement from a company called Health Plus. That's called Colon Cleanse and Super Colon Cleanse. So you take Colon Cleanse, you take 6 caplets twice daily before you eat, and it gives you a boost of fiber in your system naturally. It's all natural. And it also helps you regulate your, your dietary system, your poop, right? And then every 2 months, you take a break from the colon cleanse, the regular one, and you use super colon cleanse. The super colon cleanse is like using Roto-Rooter, like in your pipes, or like Drano in your pipes. That's a better way to put it, right? It really cleans out your system. And I'll tell you, folks, when you can empty your bowels 100%, that's when you feel the best. If you even have any little bit of your fecal matter, which is what they call it, stuck in your system after you go number 2, it'll affect you, right? So if you can clear out your stomach, and especially if you have digestive issues like I've had my entire life. I've had constipation my entire life. I was practically born with it, right? It was worse when I was younger, but I've gotten it more so under control. But it still affects me to the point of where using these supplements do help, and it keeps me regular, right? The more you can clear out your stomach after you eat, the more of an optimal level your body is going to function. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but that makes sense, right? And I think you and I, Mike, can really create something great together to help a lot of people not only get healthy, but stay healthy, and for people that are already healthy to maintain their health. I mean, what do you think about that, bro? Let me know what your thoughts are. We've got 17 in the box. 6 thumbs up. 20 grams of C at once will give 9 to 10 people a vitamin C detox flush. I'll have to try that. I'm going to start taking Vita Mineral Green. It's supposed to do all that. It says BWA Gaming, and absolutely says Critical Mass. Okay. K2 goes well with D3. Yeah, you told me that last time. I'm gonna have to look into that. And if I can get my vitamins and minerals from Costco, not only are they the best quality, they are the best price for a huge portion. Like, I love Costco wholesale. Costco is the absolute best place to get certain things that would cost you a fortune to buy elsewhere in smaller quantities. You just buy them in bulk, right? And if you're going to use it anyway, why not buy it in bulk and have some quantity laying around and pay cheaper per pill, right? A lot of people will say, I don't feel like going to Costco. Well, you can order online. I don't feel like buying it and spending that money. Well, it's cheaper in the long run. you're going to save more trips to the market, or if you order them in smaller quantities on Amazon, you're going to save more money. Or if you go to the store, you're going to save time, money, and gas, right? By buying in bulk. We've got a family up front that's walking at a very slow speed. So I'm going to have to go on the other side. But I'm going to wait to cross because you see that house over there? That's the house that has that dog that always wants to bite my nuts off. Let me see. Give me a second here. Just trying to avoid people. I am partially vaccinated. I will be fully vaccinated, I believe, next Thursday is my second appointment for my second Pfizer shot. Queen is laughing. Are you laughing at the fact, Queen, you remember that dog, right? Queen, you've been following me for a while. You remember those streams where I would walk by that house that has the beware of dog sign, and that sucker would be barking loud and jumping on the fence, right? I'm like, dude, I'm a cool dude. I'm a cool dude. And people coming on this side too. So now, when people on the other side are going at a slow pace or at the piss off pace, and you have other people coming on the other side, it's hard to avoid people. So now I gotta walk in the street. That's okay. It's all good. All right, so let's get right to it here. We're on lap number 2. We're feeling good already. I feel great. It's going to be a wonderful night after this. Oh, by the way, before we get to it, one more thing. I was going to do a show from the studio last night, and I was going to share a story about this woman I've been talking to on Match that's 39 years old. She's very attractive, a very sporty, athletic Asian woman, originally from Canada, but has lived here for a while and works in the corporate world. And it's just interesting, her approach to me, her response to me, after reading my profile on Match.com that I've updated to say, I'm not looking for a masculine woman, I'm looking for a feminine woman, blah, 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 right? And she initially, I actually shared part of the story on the stream I did last week. But I'm going to share the full story and the up-to-date stuff because there's there's a huge update. And I'm just laughing because even women that are strong and empowered and independent, right? They want a masculine man. They don't want a beta male. And if you can sit there and go toe-to-toe with them and be cool and not be fazed by them coming at you and just kind of laugh at them like in a cocky, funny, playful way, it's funny how they start submitting to you. And they turn from being a strong, dominant, masculine behaving corporate executive type of woman to being this like submissive woman. It's really funny. It's really interesting, but you got to be a real man to be able to pull that off, because these women are going to test the shit out of you all the time. And if you're just yourself and you're a real man, no problem. You'll pass the tests without even trying. But I have an update to that story because this woman initially was telling me that I don't think you and I would work out. I'm a strong alpha female. I work a lot of hours, blah, 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 right? Funny thing is, we started talking like 3 or 4 days ago, and we're still talking. And this woman is now reaching out to me every day on the Match.com app, that is. But there's an update to that. I'm not going to spoil it because once I start streaming from the studio again, which should be by tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to read our entire conversation through Match and other aspects, and it's going to be real interesting. Let me see here real quick. I don't know how many dogs who like nuts. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yes, women do test men. Of course you do. BWYA Gaming, you and all other women test men, even unknowingly. Some of you know it and do it purposefully, but even if you don't, women biologically test men because women are attracted to a man's emotional strength, physical strength, mental strength. The bottom line is women are attracted to a man's strength and they are repelled to the weakness of a man, especially emotional weakness, right? Now, you don't have to be the biggest guy, right? You don't have to be buff or anything, right? You just have to be able to take care of yourself physically, right? What women are more repelled by is the emotional weakness of a man, right? Because if you're emotionally weak and you cry all the time, in essence, you're a man acting like a woman. Now, it's okay for a woman to behave that way because that's part of her natural biology, right? But for a man, that's not normal. So when you're behaving that way as a man, women are repelled by that, right? Even if they're not testing you, they automatically are repelled by that because they're like, something feels weird here, right? I'm with this sexy guy, but I don't know what happened, right? Like he's behaving a weird way. Yeah, he's behaving like you. And you're already you. You don't need a second you. You want a man with a penis, right? You don't need a man that has the same body part as you do because you already have that, right? So yeah, women biologically, instinctually test every single man that they encounter or encounters them. If you're a man in the modern world, it's more important because women are now more independent and stronger, right? So it's even more crucial nowadays that you're centered as a man. Because nowadays you show one little sign of weakness and you're out. Why? Because these women have hundreds of options waiting in the queue, right? If you somehow work your way to the top of the queue, like I feel I have with this woman, one mistake, one sign of weakness, at least early on, right? And it's over, right? It's over. It's just the way the world is nowadays, right? But even back in the days of traditionalism, where women were dependent on a man for survival, they had to seek out and find the strongest man for their survival purposes alone, right? So their interest was different back then. Now, it's different. Now their interest is like, okay, I'm a strong, independent woman, making money, have my own house, have my own car, have my own stuff. What do you have to bring to the table? That's what it is. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you both, bring stuff equally into a relationship and you respect each other equally, right? But the game has changed because of women's lib. And so, one sign of weakness nowadays, and it's over. Now, if you're a smart dude like me, and you want to lay it on a little thick, you got to do it in a playful way where you let the chick know that, hey, I'm not a weak dude. I'm joking with you. Like if I were to tell this woman, well, how would you feel if I showed up at your front door with a boombox like Cusack did in that movie? What was it, Say Anything? If I remember correctly, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. With the Peter Gabriel song, In Your Eyes. if I serenaded you in the modern world with you being an empowered, strong, independent woman? I actually tried that on Dana, and she goes, well, if I like you, I would want you to do that. Like, come on, Dana. Actually, I believe her. Like, Dana's very old school. I mean, she's still independent, but like, she actually likes that kind of stuff, that cheesy stuff. But not all women like that, right? But if you say it as a joke, and you're like, ha ha ha, LOL, right? Then at least the woman knows you're not trying to be weak and trying to, get a date with her or get in their pants by trying to be all mushy. The key is not even trying, just having a conversation, being cool, right? The less you try, the more they want you, right? The more mysterious you are, the more they want you, right? The more different you are from every other guy that's come at them, you stand out. This woman I'm talking to, and I'll share that story from the studio, in a few days. Like, she's a beautiful woman. She's like 5'7", probably about 130, very fit, very cute. She's like a tomboy, but, she can dress up and look good. But I love the tomboy look. I've even told her that. And she gets a lot of attention. And she's even told me about it, right? I'm going to share the communication, and you're going to see how this woman handled being overwhelmed by a bunch of men. I'm giving you a little sneak preview because this is probably one of the best back and forths I've had with a woman. Whether it works out or not, no problem. The bottom line is, this is a woman that, despite the outcome, even if it doesn't work out, I can respect. Why? Because she was being respectful to me from the very beginning. Even when she first said, I'm too strong of a woman, and you want more of a feminine woman, and I work in the corporate world, and I have more masculine energy. She came at me with that, right? And I'm like, I tell you what, if you're the kind of woman, I thought in my head, right? If you're the kind of woman that has probably intimidated many men, and I asked her that, I'll share more about how she responded to that when I do that show, right? I said, if you're the kind of woman that intimidates men and they get scared by you, right? Okay? Then I also know you're the kind of woman that I can get through to and wear down this masculine energy thing that's been happening to many women in the corporate world nowadays because they're liberated, right? I'll wear you down. I'll wear you down by just laughing every time you come at me with masculine energy. I'll just laugh, right? And then after you try to derail my masculinity like 100 times, and I'm still standing and laughing at you, well, let's say laughing with you to be nice, right? Then you're going to have no choice but to give up and submit. It's a natural thing. Like, when a man is that strong, and this woman has been coming at me. I'll tell you, this woman has come at me with every shit test you could ever imagine. Oh man, like she rewrote the rule book to the shit test, right? She tried and tried. It's at the point right now where I don't think she wants to try anymore. There's a very, very good update to this story I'll share in a few days. Owner of a lonely heart, much better than the owner of a broken heart. That's right. Stayed single for a long time until I found someone really good, says Critical Mass Mike. I have high standards and would not settle. I agree. Better alone than in bad company. Right. Staying single is better for me, says Queen. Right, right. To each its own, right? To each its own. We're a little more than halfway done the second lap. I'm going to stop somewhere and get some water. I think there's a water fountain on the corner. And then I'm going to share with you folks the investment I just made. That's going to be a huge game changer. It's a big investment, but it's an investment that's going to last me for years. It's an investment that I can even update and make better over the course of time with accessories. It's going to solve a lot of issues that I've been having with my current setup that I didn't really start to more so realize until I got my new laptop. Whew. So yeah, sometime over the next few days, or at least by sometime over this weekend or next week, early next week, I will do a stream from the studio and share that communication with you. And I'll tell you guys, you're going to want to watch this. Same with you ladies, but more so guys. You can learn how to better communicate with women. You can better learn to identify when they're coming at you with masculine energy. And to just laugh and not let it derail you. And to just be yourself. And to bust her chops a little bit and say, that's pretty funny. This chick even tried to friend zone me. She tried to friend zone me like after the first conversation. I'll tell you how I handled that. They tried to friend zone you. They tried to talk at you with a rough tone of voice. It's all a test, guys. It's all a test. You know why it's a test? Because these women are tired of dating the beta man. They're tired of dating the beta man, but they're also tired of dating the alpha chads because they know the alpha chads just want one thing, right? You see, the alpha chads are more appealing to them than the beta bucks, right? Because at least the alpha chads, they're good looking and they're great lovers and they have balls, right? But the betas are the really nice, compliant guys that are somewhat like what the woman wants, but they're so compliant that the woman gets boring. Like, see, if the betas just learn how to spice things up a little bit and still be decent guys, right? No problem. So it's not about being an alpha chad or being a beta buck. It's about being a hybrid in the middle, right? Cocky, playful, funny, right? Be a well-balanced dude. You still want to be a decent guy, or if you want to call it a nice guy, I like saying good guy because, you know, the nice guy stigma. You know how that sounds, right? But you can still be a good guy or nice guy as long as you have respect for yourself first. You have to respect and love yourself first before any woman's going to love and respect you. And you have to live your life for yourself, not live your life for her. Right? That's the biggest turnoff to a woman. I don't want to live without you. Right? You can't do that anymore, right? It's not the 80s with Foreigner, right? It's so good when we make love, it's understood. More than the words, more than the touch of the words we say, right? I screwed it up, right? Only in dreams could be this way when you love someone. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, when you love someone, right? You can be a good dude, but you got to balance it out. You can't be a sissy. Like, you could even probably, hang out with an alpha female, like this chick and I will probably hang out at some point. And I'll update you on that in a bit, a few days or so from the studio, like I've been saying. You could have those moments where you like try to serenade her as a joke, right? But when she comes back at you, just laugh with her, right? You don't want to get butthurt. The number one thing that will repel a woman is if she like teases you or like calls you out on something, is to overreact emotionally and say, oh, I don't appreciate that, babe. No, that's not how you handle it. If your woman busts your chops, I told this chick, and I'll tell any chick this. I said, look, I like a good challenge. But if you're going to come at me, I'm going to come back at you 10 times harder, right? Because what happens when you mess with the bull? You tell me, ladies, in the chat. Queen, BWA Gaming, Critical Mass, Mike, or anyone else who's here. What happens when you mess with the bull? A little windy right now. When you mess with the bull, what happens? You get the horn, says Queen. And BWI Gaming says, then you wind up dealing with the Karens. It's hard to find an alpha Chad. Well, not really. There's no need for you to try BWIA Gaming. You're married. You're happily married. You got a good dude. The Karens. That's funny. I think YouTube is demonetizing any people that put the name Karen in a title. I think the AI doesn't like the name Karen because it's used in a stereotypical way nowadays. Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, just be a good, well-balanced guy. And if a woman comes at you, she's only testing you to see how strong you are. She's having fun with you. Have fun with her. She wants to play with her. No problem. Because if you play with her and you don't let her derail you, then she'll be playing with you in the bedroom later that night. She's testing to see if she can derail you. If she can't derail you, she's going to try harder to derail you. And when that doesn't work, she's going to give up and submit because she's going to be like, man, I can't tear this dude apart. So I'm going to let him tear me apart in the bedroom. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's it. Sign me up. That's something I'll sign up for. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If I can't tear up this dude with my brain and tear down his masculinity, then I'll submit and let him tear me up in the bed. It's the way it works, guys. It's a pretty simple concept, right? Just got to be yourself. Be yourself. Be a man. Just be yourself. How hard is it to be yourself, right? Why would you want to pretend to be somebody you're not or something you're not, right? To try to get something that you think you want? If you're going to pretend to be somebody else to get something you think you want, it's not what you really want. And even if you were to get that person by pretending to be somebody else, it would end up not working out. It'd be more of a waste of your time and energy. It would create more issues for you. Focus on yourself. Work on yourself. Be your real, authentic, natural self. That's the most attractive thing you have to offer this world. I'll say that over and over again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. That's the main reason I do what I do, is to try to get people to go ahead. These cars are waiting for me to cross. And I'm just being cool. I'm like, I'm in no hurry. I've got, AT&T unlimited internet. I could stream all day. I've got my extra battery pack plugged into my pocket. I could probably stream for like 24 hours straight right now with the amount of power I have in my pocket. Well, that didn't sound right. The amount of power I have in my pocket. It's kind of like another line like Coach Corey Wayne used to say. I love Coach Corey Wayne's stuff. He's great, right? Coach Corey Wayne would give some examples to some of the emails he would respond to. And he would say, dude, just say this next time you're with a woman and the night's about to end. And you want to see if she wants to come and hang out inside. Just say this. Say, well, how about you come on into my place and we can hang out and then we can see what pops up. we can see what pops up. I love that. It's cheesy, but it's great. So hey, you want to come in and hang out and we can see what pops up? Oh man, I killed myself. There's a water fountain over here. I'm on my third lap. Folks, I'm going to wrap this up after the third lap. So get your questions, comments, and concerns in. I'm going to tell you folks what I have purchased. People are saying, Eli, you're trying to keep us around longer. Well, no, I'm just taking a walk. And I like to save the best for last, the anticipation, right? This is the pool area. Give me a second here. What the fuck? Is it not working? It's not working. Oh my God. What's that? Hey, WrestleMania, welcome, bro. How you doing? Just saw you were live on my way to bed. It's 9 p.m. here. Have a great stream. Have another 5 a.m. start tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by, Jamie WrestleMania. Hope you got that video done beautifully regarding your late father. Once again, my condolences to you and your family. Say hi to your wife and your son Elias for me. Let me see here. I'm a different kind of mama. Is that what you wrote? Mammal? Is that what you wrote there? I'm having a hard time seeing with the... Let me see. I am not a Karen. I am not a Becky, says BW. Who said you were? You're just trying to be funny, right? It's all good. I'll have to find another water fountain or just suck it up. I could use some water, though. All right, so let's get right to it. So what happened on my live stream last night and on the few live streams I've done from the studio since I got my new Dell XPS 15 9500 laptop with the i9 8-core 16-thread processor at 5.3 gigahertz, 64 gigs of DDR4, 2933 megahertz RAM, a 4 gigabyte NVIDIA graphics card, a 2 terabyte NVMe M.2 form solid state hard drive made by Samsung, the fastest hard drive you can get, a 4K 3840 by 2400 touchscreen edge-to-edge monitor. It's very sharp and very bright. 500 nits, if you know what that is. That's the brightness level. It's very bright. So what happened? When I went live a few times, my video looked grainy. Now the background looked great, but the actual video of me, which is what my camera is reading, was grainy. And I was trying to figure out between the stream that I tried to do last night and before that time. And I was up pretty late last night trying to figure it out. And then I figured out what happened. I got some rest, got up, And then I decided to make some purchases. So here's what happened. When I started my former YouTube channel, when I first became a real YouTuber a little over 4 years ago, I was looking to get some equipment. I wanted to get something decent, but not break the bank. So I wanted to find a camcorder, that has unlimited length recording, that also has an external microphone jack, because I wanted to plug in for better audio. But I didn't want to spend a lot of money. Most of the cameras that have that external microphone jack cost a lot of money, like at least $400 or $500. I wanted to spend like $200-300. I found the Canon Vixia RF 700, I believe is what the model is, and they have the 800 now, right? It's a 1080p camera that does 1080p up to 60 frames per second. It's not a 4K camera, but it had an external microphone jack. And I saw some reviews and it looked decent. But when I got it and I started using it for my former channel, I noticed one thing. It had difficulty focusing and staying focused. And the sensor is not that great. It doesn't have the best lighting. But I was able to make it work. And I was also able to make it work for live streaming when I upped up my live streaming game about 1.5 years ago, when I switched from using my Logitech C920 webcam to purchasing an Elgato Camlink 4K. It's a little USB adapter that allows you to connect to any camcorder or DSLR camera or mirrorless camera that has an HDMI output, and you can get better quality video. So I knew that my Canon camera was compatible. It has an HDMI out, and then all you do is you plug it into the HDMI out of your camera. You plug it into the backside of the Camlink 4K. It's a little USB device. It's $130 for a little USB device, but it works wonders. And then on the other side, you connect it to USB 3.0. So I upped my game, and I was still having some focus issues, but I was able to get it to work with my former laptop. And it was working decent to get me a reasonably crisp picture. It wasn't exceptionally crisp, but it was decent. It was acceptable, right? Well, when I got my new laptop, my old laptop was like 8, almost 9 years old. And it had a 15-inch monitor that was like, the resolution was like 1300 something by 768. This laptop, like I said, has a 3840 by 2400. 3840 by 2160 is 4K. Is Ultra HD 4K, UHD. They say real 4K is 4096 by, I think by 2, I can't remember what the specs are, but real 4K is a little bit more than that. But the Ultra HD 4K is basically, it was made because it will fit perfectly on your widescreen TV with no bars. If you have the real 4K, which is a little bit of a higher resolution, but not much, you're going to have black bars on the top and bottom. That's why when you see black bars at the top and bottom, it means that the native resolution is different than the resolution of your TV, right? So I figured that my Canon Vixia HRF 700, I believe it was, that I bought. It was a $300 camera that I got on sale for like $250 4+ years ago. I figured that it was not working well with my laptop's new specs. My laptop is extremely powerful. There's nothing it can't handle. The thing is, when this camera came out, it was before the time I believe they started putting 4K as a native resolution on laptops. And the hardware is different. And so I have a feeling that the camera that the Canon camera I've been using to live stream will still work decent on my older laptop because it had older specs that were more made for it. But my newer laptop, because the specs are different and they're scaled differently at a higher resolution, it affects the clarity. Because here's the thing, when I would focus this camera, I would look at it has one of those flip screens, for like blogging, and it was clear there, but when it was outputting on OBS and what was going out to YouTube and Facebook, it was very grainy. So it has to do with the signal quality that's coming from the camera. So I realized and made a decision that it's time to upgrade the old camcorder. It's time to get something new. We got 15 in the box. Thank you so much for being here. And so I thought to myself, the first thing I looked at was, okay, am I going to go with another camcorder? Or do I go with a DSLR? Or do I go with a mirrorless camera that also does video? Well, folks, DSLRs and mirrorless cameras are basically integrated video and still picture taking cameras. In the past, they weren't that great, especially the cheaper ones, because they were made with pretty poor software and hardware to the point of where, the quality, you would buy it for the camera and the video quality was subpar. But now, with the higher end models and more sophisticated software and hardware, they're a great combination to have. A lot of YouTubers will use mirrorless cameras or DSLRs, not only to take still pictures, but to record their videos. The great thing about mirrorless cameras and DSLRs, and mirrorless cameras are now better than DSLRs because they don't have a mirror and the light goes directly into the lens. DSLR stands for single lens reflex. So the DSLR had one mirror in there. I believe it was one mirror, single lens reflex, right? Non-DSLRs, I think, had a couple of mirrors, and that's why it would take longer. Like if you noticed on older non-DSLR cameras, you would take a picture, it would literally take like 2 or 3 seconds sometimes for the picture to process, right? With a DSLR or mirrorless camera, you could use burst, but you go chee, 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 it's instant, right? Especially with a mirrorless camera because the light goes in directly into the sensor. So mirrorless is the best way to go now. So I was thinking to myself, do I go with a camcorder or do I go with a mirrorless camera or DSLR? And I went looking. I couldn't find a camcorder that did everything I wanted to do. Ultimately, I was looking for something that would do up to 4K at 60 frames per second. And now I realize why the Elgato Cam Link only goes up to 4K 30 frames per second, because unless you're spending thousands of dollars on very high-end DSLRs or more professional grade video cameras or mirrorless cameras, that the lower end cameras, say from the $500 to maybe like $1,500 or $2,000 level, only go up to 4K at 30 frames per second. They don't do 4K at 60. So I was looking for that through a camcorder. I couldn't find it. I then went to a DSLR. And then I went to a mirrorless. I couldn't find anything 4K 60, so I settled for 4K at 30. And then I started looking at Sony, one of my favorite companies. And Sony, very expensive, but good stuff, right? Sony just came out with a new camera about a year ago called the ZV-1 for bloggers. Good camera, but it doesn't have interchangeable lenses, I believe, and it doesn't have an external microphone input. That camera, I believe, is about $600, which would have been a pretty good deal. $500-600. But it wasn't going to work for me because I need an external microphone input in case I want to use this thing, outside of the studio, right? I'm also looking primarily for something that's going to output better video and clearer video for my live stream from the studio. And then I said, okay, I remember a couple of videos I used to watch from Brian G. Johnson and some other YouTube help gurus that, do reviews on this stuff. Reviews are important, folks. And then I remember the Sony a6400. And I went and started looking at it, and I fell in love with it. The Sony a6400. 24, I believe it's a 24 megapixel still camera. It does 4K at 30 frames per second. It does 1080p up to, I believe, 240 frames per second. So 1080p 60 is going to be no problem. Now, it doesn't come with a lens. You have to buy a lens. You have a choice of a couple lenses. And I was looking for a lens that was going to have a wide angle. Because when I got my Canon Vixia camera, those cheap cameras don't come with a wide angle lens. So I had to buy an attachment for $20 that gave me a wide angle. So that way, when you would see me in the studio, I wasn't like totally up close, right? There was like a lot of space around me and you could see things around me, right? So I wanted to see if I could get a lens that already had wide angle and you could use telephoto to zoom in. And I read that the cheapest lens you can buy for the A6400 for an extra like $100 was $100 upgrade if you buy it when you buy the camera, $150 if you buy it separately. It goes down to I think 16 millimeters, which is where I had my other camera at with the wide angle lens, 16 to 50. So this lens is gonna allow me to zoom back and have a wide angle shot of me in the studio wherever I'm at. I also purchased a 128 gigabyte SanDisk card, top of the line card that does 170 megabytes per second. You need to have a fast card to be able to, in case I use this thing outside of the studio and want to record vlogging videos with it. Or take a bunch of pictures. I'll be using this camera to take a bunch of pictures. And yes, I did buy the camera. Obviously, I bought the camera. So the camera with the lens was about $1,000. I bought a case for it. Bought the SD card, and then I had to buy one more thing that doesn't come with the camera. One of the most important things when you're going to use a camera like that for live streaming, it has to have a couple of things. Number one, it has to have what's known as a clean HDMI output, meaning that the menu that you see on your screen of your camera, if there's no way to go into the menu from the screen and turn off the on-screen verbiage, that's going to output out of your HDMI signal, which would show up on your stream. So I had to make sure that this, Sony a6400 had clean HDMI output, meaning that I can go into the menu and turn off the on-screen stuff, and it does. Another thing that is important when you're going to use the capture card or use a DSLR or mirrorless camera or camcorder is, does it have unlimited recording time? And does it stay on for an unlimited amount of time? So if you live stream for several hours, will it shut down on you or will it stay on? Because a lot of the older DSLRs and mirrorless cameras had a 30-minute recording limit on their videos, and they also would shut down after a certain amount of time. They've now started to change that because they're seeing the importance of people needing this because of YouTube. Let me tell you, folks, YouTube has made these companies rich. So what are these companies doing? They're basically providing what people need so they can make money, right? They're saying, okay, this is what you need. You need unlimited recording time. We're going to give you that. The reason why they didn't do it before is because those cameras were made in a way where they would overheat after a certain amount of time. And that's why they would shut down after 30 minutes of recording. You then would have to start the recording again and then piece the two pieces together through your video editing and rendering software. So this has unlimited record time, clean HDMI output, and most importantly, you need to have a power cord that consistently keeps power running through the camera. So if you're streaming, let's say, I'm not saying I'm going to stream 5 hours anytime soon. I've done it before, but who knows if I'll do it again. But if I do choose to do a 5-hour stream, I need to have this thing plugged in and have constant power going through it. The A6400 comes with a battery and a charger just for the battery, but it does not keep the system charged while it's being used. But guess what Sony did? It's smart of them. And they wanted to make more money too. Accessories is where they make the money. They made this dummy battery pack that keeps a constant charge to the A6400. It's basically a dummy AC adapter. On one side it has the shape of the battery. You put it in the battery section, and then you plug it into the AC outlet and it keeps constant power. All for the very low price of $149.99, $150. I'm like, that's pretty damn steep. But I need it. So it'll last me for years, right? I'm not going to run off a battery. And those batteries probably would barely last an hour or two, if that. If I'm going to stream longer than that, I need constant power. So I purchased the Sony A6400. This thing is incredible. Very clear, very sharp. I got my SD card today, same day. Tomorrow I'm getting my A6400 camera and I'm getting my case. And from a different company, coming all the way from back east, I'm getting that dummy charger. They're all supposed to come tomorrow. Hopefully everything stays on track. I got my confirmation for the A6400 and its carrying case. But as of the time I went live here on this stream, I still have not received confirmation on the battery pack. Hi, at Mike on a hike. Is that the same guy? Is Mike on a hike critical mass? Is that actually you, bro? Get your questions in, folks. I'm about to wrap things up and go off the air. I'm going to go to one of my local pubs tonight and get some takeout. They have this amazing Cobb salad I like with some raspberry vinaigrette dressing that's very low in calorie. Raspberry vinaigrette is great stuff. Balsamic vinaigrette and raspberry vinaigrette, two of the most healthy dressings for salad with low calories, and they taste good. Especially the raspberry one. It's amazing. Excuse me. So, I should be receiving all that tomorrow, folks, depending on the time that I receive these products. They always say, the funny thing now, if you've noticed, shipping has gone later. Like most carriers now will deliver up until 9, some up to 10 p.m., right? So now they'll put 9 or 10 p.m., right? Excuse me. Excuse me. I'll get some water in a second. But a lot of times, they show up early in the morning or in the late morning or early afternoon. So depending on the time I receive these products tomorrow, if I get them early enough in the day and I'm able to set it up and test it, I'll do a stream from the studio tomorrow. If not, then I'll give you guys a Walking with Purpose tomorrow and we'll talk about something else. Let me just show you how beautiful the day it is today. A lot of people coming here to play at the new Magical Brigade playground. Absolutely beautiful. I have to come here one day, like I've been saying for a while now, and show you folks the inside of this place. Lots of beautiful women at the park too, I gotta tell you. Lots of beautiful women. People walking their dogs. It's great. Pretty much summertime. It's almost here. Practically is. All right, we are at 1 hour and 17 minutes. Oh, we have Irish pubs. Well, we have Irish pubs. We have many types of pubs. We have many types. But yeah, I know the Irish, they're the ones that pretty much created that. So, all right, folks. Hope you enjoyed this stream today. Hopefully you're caught up with what happened. Just wanted to clearly explain what happened, on my last few streams. I know you were asking BWYA, and I kind of told you folks behind the scenes earlier today, but I also shared, I'll be explaining in more detail on this stream, and I appreciate you folks showing up, to hear what's going on. So yeah, I know people are probably wondering, oh, Eli spent all this money on a, $3,000+ laptop, and his quality is worse than it was on the old laptop. Well, I explain why. Because the hardware was not compatible. The hardware was my old Vixia camcorder. That was already a low-end camcorder to begin with. But now that computers are that much more powerful and they have higher resolution, it just won't work with it. It's not enough. There's not enough light going into the sensor. It's just not able to get a good enough quality image on my current laptop through the capture card to output good quality. So I had to step up my game, and the A6400 is a phenomenal camera. You can also put a hot shoe on the top of it, put an external microphone. It has a flip screen on it, so you can flip it around and do vlogging with it. There's so much I can do with that thing, but here's the thing. Like, I don't really plan on doing vlogging with this camera. I mean, I do my vlogging with my iPhone 12 Pro Max. Plus, I can go up to 4K at 60 frames per second on this, right? But if I wanted to have another vlogging rig, and here's the thing, that camera will get better quality than the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But again, it doesn't do 4K 60. and only does 4K at 30, right? I primarily got it because I wanted to give you folks the absolute most crystal clear picture through streaming. Now, a Sicily A10, you're probably watching. You're like, Coach, you should stream at 4K 30. I have a 4K TV. That's great, dude. I'm probably not going to do that even though I can, because I want to do 60 frames per second. Plus, most people are not going to tell the difference. They're on a smartphone. And even on a 4K TV, it'll down-res that to 1080p 60. It'll still look really good. It'll be more fluid. Now, if there was 4K 60 and my capture card and the camera could handle it, then I would probably try that. But you got to understand, dude, streaming at 4K, I'm already streaming at 30 megabits per second, 1080p, 60 frames per second, right? You'd have to stream at least 40 to 50 megabits per second, which wouldn't be a problem because I have a fiber line and a fast computer, but the file sizes are enormous, right? And editing those is just going to take more time, right? So, and plus for live streams, most of the stuff I do, it's really not necessary for 4K. It's not. It's just not, right? So I primarily got the A6400 because I wanted to get better streaming quality. And while I was at it, I'm like, okay, get something that can do everything else too. And here's the thing. These mirrorless cameras, they are the absolute best for streaming. They have the best lenses, and they have, they have no mirror. So they get a lot more light going directly into the sensor. And like folks, and even in low light conditions, like here another issue. My Canon Vixia was horrible with low light. Even this iPhone 12 Pro Max, you folks have seen me go live, like when it's about to turn dark, when the sun's going down, and you see the auto exposure kick in. It has great low light compensation. The Vixia RF, I think it's HRF. Sorry, I can't remember. It's the R700, HFR 700, I believe. Has horrible low light compensation. It's horrible in low light situations, and that will affect your autofocus. Here's the thing. My lighting is great in my studio. I have 4 lights. I have 2 LED lights coming on me and 2 lighting up my green screen, right? So it was not my lighting. It was this camera that just was not going to work for my new laptop with higher specs. The sensor on the, folks, if you're looking for a cheap way to stream with a camcorder, do not buy the Vixia camcorder series, the 1080p series. I'd stay away from that. The low light compensation is horrible. It's horrible. Do your research. And I did do my research, but no one had even mentioned that early on when I first got that camcorder. But now, years later, people are all sharing their experiences, right? I was on the, cutting edge of that camera back then for the most part. So, anyway. All right, we're leaving 12 in the box here. I want to thank you all for being here. Folks, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, email me, Coach Eli at coacheli@melas.com. If I don't get back to you later tonight, I'll get back to you by some point tomorrow. Again, if I get all of my equipment delivered by early afternoon, I will do an in-studio stream in the evening. If by like 1 or 2 o'clock they haven't arrived, and I figure they're going to come later, then I'll do a Walking with Purpose stream in the middle of the afternoon. And then I'll do that in-studio stream the following day where I'm going to share the story about this woman. And there may even be more updates by that time. So it's going to be really interesting. So with that being said, have yourselves a great day. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye. We're out. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Come on.